Hey guys, welcome to the object-oriented programming video. So this one will dive into the actual code of it. If you want an explanation of what object-oriented programming is, I'd advise you to check out my previous video. In there, I think I really managed to break down what object-oriented programming is. But in this one, I'll show you how to implement object-oriented programming with Python with all of the 4 pillars. So I thought the best project that we can use to do this would be a school management system. But yeah, let me take you through the code. Okay, so the first part, we're talking about encapsulation, yeah? So encapsulation ensures that data is kept private inside a class that can only be accessed through methods, right? So in this situation, we can call this, So in this situation, we can call this encapsulation, right? There is this data in here that is being kept in this class so that it can only be accessed through like a method. And then we run the code and then we call it here, and there you go. You have your result, right? And let me show you how we can implement inheritance in this project. So what I would do is I will create other subclasses for student and probably teacher, and all these classes will inherit from the parent class, which is person. So yeah, I'll take you through how you can do that here. Here, we want to talk about inheritance, yeah? So the main class, like we said, is the person class. This is the main class where I also printed out the introduction and all that. From the main class, we've created 2 subclasses, right? Student and teacher. So in student, the way we call the first class is we create the class student, and within the brackets, we tell the system that, in student, it's a subclass of person. So we're going to use the data that comes from person. So we put in person here. And after that, we initiate the class. We tell them, okay, in this class, we're going to use these variables, yeah? We're going to use the self variable, just basically telling that, okay, initiating that these variables are going to be within this class. And then we have the name. We're going to use the name, age, student ID, and courses. And the super brackets, init, and everything. Basically, what we're telling is that in this parent class, in this parent person class, we are going to use we are going to call the super class. So when we create this section here where it says super, well, what we're telling is we're going to call the super class. So the super class is the person class, right? The ultimate class, the big class, the head honcho, since that's the one that's here. And then within that, we're going to use name and age. We could trim it down to just say, oh, maybe we just want to use name, right? Or maybe we just want to use age. We can delete that, or we can delete that, but we cannot necessarily add if it's not in the super class. You understand? So it works in one way. Like, I can add here a variable that I want to, like, there's more information that I want to capture, but I cannot add here if it's not already located here. Yeah, I hope we're together. And then after that, I initiated, oh, okay, now there's going to be a new variable called self.studentID. It's going to come from student ID. right? And then from there, that's when we go into what self.courses. There's going to be a new variable called self.courses. Self basically telling it that this is the variable within the this is the variable that's going to be within this class, and that variable is going to be linked to courses. You get? I hope we're together. And if self courses, else, you know, else this. So this is a list. So we're telling it that if it's in the courses, just put it in the list. That's what we're basically telling it. Now I create another function. The function is called enroll. So this one is just so that you can add to the courses, right? So we're going to tell it that, okay, in this enroll function, we're just going to use courses. This is the only variable that we're really going to use, that we're really going to manipulate in here. So self.courses append course. So basically what we're telling it is, in this self.courses that was located here, I want you to append courses, basically add into course, right? Course meaning this variable, which, if you remember, this is a list, right? So now we just tell it that, okay, print first, then print the name, and then the courses that they're enrolled in. And then next we come into the teacher, right? Same process. Teacher is a subclass of person. So we tell it that, okay, we initiate this name, age, and then we tell it what other variables we're going to work with in this class. And then we're telling it, oh, okay, in the superclass, which is the person class, we are going to need from there the name and the age. And the system's like, okay, I understand. And then we're going to tell the system that, okay, remember the variables that we put in here? Yes, those ones are going to be called self.salary, and then is equal to salary, and then self.subject is equal to subject. So we've initiated it, and these are the new variables that are going to be located within the teacher class. All right, I hope we're together here. So now this underscore here, these two underscores, these are private. We're just basically telling it that this is a private class, right? I mean, obviously we'd want the salaries to be private, so this is a private class. Then after that, we create a function that gets salary that returns salary. So we're going to be calling this get salary function if we want a return of salary. I hope we're together there. So the inheritance here is basically the teacher and the student. These are subclasses of the parent class person. I hope that makes sense now. All right, so I'm going to implement all this, but I'm going to implement it with polymorphism, right? So I'll first explain polymorphism and then explain how I'm going to implement this, and you understand why I wanted to implement this at the end. So polymorphism. Polymorphism basically means, or it basically allows different classes to override the same method. So let me show you what I mean. All right, so it worked. This is still the same function that we took from the parent class, which was introducing yourself and all that. And we've also adopted it in the students. We've also adopted the same introduce in student, and also adopted the same in teacher. And what I did is now I started to call the different classes. We have student, teacher, and person, with the variables inside. Of course, the best way to format this is always this way. so that, you know, as you're dealing with, you know, larger classes, like classes where their names are a little bit longer, it's easier for you to separate the two. Maybe you can say teacher so maybe it can be teacher manager, right? So if we were to take these two and have the other one just be small letter t and a small letter m, this, you see, by far, like, you'll see that this is easier to read than this, right? So usually that's why it's a really good practice to have the first letter of the word be capitalized. You can't add a space between them because now it's not a singular class. As you can see, now there's an error. If I close this, it seems like it's okay, but if I put a space here, there's an error. Yeah. All right, so that's polymorphism. The same function, as you can see, introduce, that has taken so many different forms. Yeah. Now I'll go into abstraction and just explain a little bit more in abstraction. All right, so as you can see here in this function, right, what I have done is, first of all, on the get salary, if somebody tries to return salary, it will tell them that the salary is confidential, and then from there it will then, you can then, but you can still work on the salary. For example, you can update the salary. You can add in, for example, on an update salary here, then if amount is less than 0, then it will add to the salary amount and then print, and then just print self name salary has been updated. Else it will just print out an invalid amount. It just tell you that that's an invalid amount. Basically, that's how abstraction works. It won't be able to print out the salary, but you can make updates to the salary. All right, guys, so we've basically gone through all 4 pillars of object-oriented programming: abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. In my next video, I'll be updating the main project, which is the Life Tracker Pro. I know, stupid name, with everything that I have learned here. I'll update the entire code to reflect object-oriented programming so that it's easier for me to adapt and basically make it modular so that I can expand the app. So I'll see you guys in the next one.